Hey boaters, we're back here at the Outboard Dad channel, here to help you have a better boating experience by helping you understand the maintenance and repairs that need to be done. Even if you don't do them yourself, at least you can understand what's getting done so you know what you're paying for. So it's very interesting here how this lower unit, we haven't found an exact smoking gun for a leak. So we're just going to go ahead and reseal the whole thing. It's the only way we can take a best chance of not having a problem with it. Now there is of course a possibility of there being a crack somewhere in the aluminum that we can't see, but not a whole lot we can do about that. We just have to reseal it and take it from there. So don't forget, my used outboard motor buying guide is for sale on Amazon for $20, and I'm still offering a free half-hour session over the phone to help you if you're working on a motor or you're buying a motor or a boat with an outboard motor. This is a simple guide. It's a grab and go. It's not in depth. It's just the basic high points you need to check that I've seen over the years and that many friends and good mentors of mine have seen over the years that have prevented people from having a good boating experience. Why? Because they bought a motor that had bad compression or fuel issues or corrosion, and these are the things that you want to check to make sure to have your best opportunity at a best chance of a good boating experience. We're going to start with our bearing carrier, right? We have the plug. We're going to keep the plugs out all the way. And we're going to start with our upper bearing carrier for our drive shaft. And let's see how easily that comes out. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I have some tips and tricks that I do. But let's see if this comes right out of here. Typically, I have to get tricky with something. So we want to inspect the drive shaft first to make sure there's no pitting where the seal is, and possibly when it's running at high RPM is when the water pump pressure and everything that's in there is letting water into our gearbox and letting oil out. Now I don't see any oil residue at any of these seals, so it is a little bit strange. So it would make sense if it's going up and through the motor and out. I don't know. Tell me what you think. But let's see if we can get this out of here without fighting with it too much. And it is a little loose, so I don't think we'll fight too much. It is a little tricky to pry on it, so let's see. Maybe get it from each side and pry back and forth, and look at that. Maybe this has been apart before. Doesn't look too bad. Does have an O-ring around here. That O-ring looks okay. Seals don't look too bad either. You know? But that's actually, is that one seal? Maybe it's just an original seal. Looks like it's two, but as I'm looking at it a little closely, I'm not sure if you can see, but it looks flat. Looks like it's lost its lip, like its edge, that maybe this is original and is just worn out. Well, we'll get some new ones in there. So let's take a look in here. It looks extremely clean, amazingly clean. Now I'm going to spin this shaft where those seals ride, and I see a nice smooth shaft that's not pitted or anything. So that's a good start. Now let's get the prop shaft out. We'll take that next. I'm going to spin this around so you can see it a little better. It's not really that heavy. Okay, So there's 4 bolts deep inside there. I need to get my extension. Let's see if we can pull this out of here, and we'll inspect this shaft. And if it looks good, I'll pull the gears out. There's snap rings in there if you remember. And if the gears all look good and nothing's damaged or chipped or anything like that, and it looks good, then I'll go ahead and order a seal kit for Zach. I don't want to order any parts until I'm sure that everything is reusable. So as I keep saying, not a lot of corrosion here at all. So I'm going to go ahead and still put a little penetrating oil in here. If you remember, I'd used my threaded rods, but there's no holes in this one. So I have some hooks that I made, slightly less than cheesy, but that usually does it. And we'll get my little puller and my hooks on here, and let's see if we can get this apart. So it's just really a couple pieces of threaded rod. I bent these cold because I didn't want to do them hot and have them get too soft. So I'm just going to really hook these in here, hoping that I don't need a whole lot of pressure to make this work. And we'll put this on the end if it fits. If not, I have another one, I think. But typically on a motor like this that's this clean, it's not too much of a struggle. Of course, I say that now, and especially on camera, you know, words always come back at us, right? So sometimes it feels like you need 4 hands to hold on to everything, but figure it out. I'm just going to try and tighten these up evenly. See if we can get this to pull out. And it's already moving because it is a nice clean freshwater motor. You know, sometimes I can just pull it out like that. Not all the time. So again, don't need a whole lot most times. Okay, so let's inspect. I say he's used some extra oil because this is very black. So he's running really rich. He did say it wasn't running right. And again, I'm noticing the same thing on these seals. I don't know if you can see that, but they're kind of flat. So I have a feeling that's what happens when we reach high RPMs on this. It is just not sealing anymore. They're just worn out. I'll put this over here. Now we got to get those snap rings out. Snap ring pliers, you just got them from Harbor Freight, and I just ground the ends in that shape so it would hold it. There we go. See if I can get a better grip this time. There we go. That sucker's got some spring tension. Whew. One more. Ooh. All right, so let's pull this out of here. We'll make some room on a clean spot on my bench to put it on. Now I want to look where my shaft seals ride, and it looks great. Just pulled it out enough so I could see that. Where my shaft seals ride. So there's a little wear there, but nothing more than I've seen before. It should be fine. So let's get the plate out. Now this is the plate that those screws go into, hole at the bottom all the time. so the oil can flow. And then we'll get our, now we'll see what the gearing looks like here. Looks good where the cog meat looks good. Yeah, don't see any teeth chipped. Keep that clean. Now let's get this drive shaft nut off. So I'm going to get my wrench in here. And then we'll get my pipe wrench. So someone said that I should be using red Loctite on this when it goes back together. Tell me what you think. I've always used blue if I've wanted something to stay, because once you use red, it may never come back again. All right, our nut is off. And there's our drive shaft. See where our seal rides, we can see a mark there, but it's not, you know, I don't have I have my glove on, but it's not something I can get a fingernail in. So it's in good shape. The bearing here is in good shape with a couple of shims. We like to see that. So now we can go ahead and get our gear out and the nut. So we can look at this really closely. Good thing he used that marine oil, because even though it had moisture, it didn't rust. What is that? How is that missing? Why is that not where it's supposed to be? I think that's the pin for the shifter. Why is that like that? I think that's the pin that holds the cog. So we got to get our shift shaft out next. So we're going to count these turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. I'll write down 6 over here. This way it'll go back together easier. Of course, we pulled it up, so let's push that back down. And I'm really not feeling a lot of resistance on this seal either. So I think it's just a simple seal kit that is what this needs. But I am concerned about what that rod came from. So it's not this one that goes in here, and it's not the one in the center of that. So what is this from? And how did it end up inside my gear case? I'm gonna have to do some research. Let's take a look inside. It's just really clean all the way around. So what is that from? I'm going to have to take a look at the parts blow up online. Otherwise, really clean in there. So that's a bit of a mystery. We're going to take this off next, take a peek down inside there, but what does this pin do? And where did it come from? Now, some of the drive shafts that were newer were 2-piece drive shafts with a pin in it, but this is a 1-piece drive shaft. We're going to take this cap off in the next episode. We're going to shine a light down, see if we see anything else. I mean, we're going to see what's in here, but I'm going to look at a parts blow up. And when I get back to you in this next episode, we're going to find out what that's for and what we need to do to make it work. Please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and let me know what you think is going on here and what that part was from. Have a great day.